I think the definition that most applies is what we would normally think of. It's a person who doesn't have a place to be, a home or lease arrangement or secure assurance that they have a place to lay their heads at night. It affects about 3.5 million people over the course of a year, hundreds of thousands any given point during the year. It's a problem that's been with us in large numbers ever since the early 1980s.
The homeless issue is a very complicated issue, but helping is easy.
It's not being addressed to the scale of the problem, and so if you take the numbers that HUD counts in terms of people they can actually find on the streets or in shelters and extrapolate it to zero, we're about 40 years away from getting to a condition in this country without homelessness. And so while there's been some progress made, it's slow progress and it certainly doesn't meet the scale of the crisis out there.
A lot of people feel like the homeless population is unwilling to work, and that's not true. Over 44% of the homeless population worked in the last month, and 55% of them worked in the last year. The fact is, if we gave a minimum wage job to every single homeless person in America, not one of them would qualify for a one-bedroom home in any state in America according to the Fair Rent practices.
Cities have passed these, Denver for instance, an anti-camping ordinance has been a source of great controversy in recent years. It reflects this insidious evil that I think has its roots in each of us, which is the desire to make difficult problems disappear. People don't want to see homeless folks. It's very disconcerting, it's very jarring, partly because we know that having people live out of doors is wrong, and that there might be something very wrong with our society as a consequence. And so we don't want to deal with that, and so we're passing laws to essentially make the problem go away. That doesn't solve anything. And the truth is, the longer we stick our heads in the sand, the larger the problem grows, and at some point we have to deal with it. But these ordinances that local governments are passing do not solve homelessness. There has not been a single instance across the country where anti-camping or anti-loitering laws have been passed where homelessness has disappeared there. It's going to take affordable housing. It's going to take some money for direct services and other human needs.
The absolute #1 issue for homelessness is affordable housing. .69% of the homeless population is sheltered. Of the remaining portion, 30% of the unsheltered population live in vehicles. And so if we can somehow come up with a system that produces and provides an affordable housing component, and the people who live in hotels or temporary housing, which is 69% of that population, if they can reach a point where working for a living can afford them the opportunity to move off the street, that's what the government needs to focus on, is a realistic approach to affordable housing. Over 37% of the individuals that are homeless now are part of a family unit. The majority of the homeless families are under the age of 24. Most of them innocent babies or children. They have nothing to do with their circumstances, nor can they change them. In a motel setting where so many of the homeless live, in the state of California, you are required to move every 28 days. Because if a motel allows you to stay longer, then it becomes a permanent residence and they lose their licensing to this motel. Imagine if you are a family and you have kids in school, and every 28 days you are required to completely locate, not to the motel room next door, but you have to move out and be off of the property and relocate. Nothing is more disturbing to me than when we're serving food, we're taking food to motel families, than to see a single mom or even a family mom lower her 4-year-old child into a dumpster by her feet and have that child have to sort through the food to find the dinner that they're going to serve that evening. This is America. It shouldn't happen. Washington needs to hear it. The politicians need to address it. And it's got to change. It's unacceptable.